So,
Right. Welcome, everyone. My name's Jay Diaz, and I'm excited that I've been invited to talk to everyone tonight, um, and spread the gospel about the wellness revolution. And I know when Hitel normally talks about the presentation, he starts off talking to us about jumping off the plane and getting our minds um, all open. And he's absolutely right. You know, if you're listening to this for the first time, and I see many happy faces, and I've seen you guys before, but nevertheless, we still need to have an open mind. Yeah, and I'm going to try and keep this as sweet and as short as possible, because one of the things that I've learned is that our brains only absorb what our seats can endure. Right. And so I don't want to make it too long for you. But what is happening with Zinzino? And what is Zinzino? Well, simply we creating a revolution with the type of products that we have in coming into the market. So looking from the outside, and if you're looking at this for the first time, as a business opportunity or looking at a company, some of the key things that you want to ask is a company solid, right? Have they got the right marketplace? Um, what is the regulations they're following? What has their growth pattern been? How strong are they financially? And these are all the key questions that I would ask when I'm looking at something. So to look quite simply, looking at the information that's on the slide, we already have, we're coming into a global market that already has 1 billion people using the products. So we're not creating anything new. The other thing is when you look at what's happened in history, when you look at when other companies have come into a already saturated market, what they bring is something that's going to disrupt that's already there. So when you look at, for example, Uber, when they came into the marketplace, we already had the tuk-tuk industry. We already had the black cab industry. We already had the yellow cab industry. But what they brought to the table changed how people looked at it and how they use the services. And that's what Zinzino is going to do with that test-based nutritional program. The other question is, how solid are they? Well, to be listed on NASDAQ, you've got to have a solid financial background. To be listed, the company would be checked strenuously. They would look at all the legal implications and the rules and regulations that applies for you to be listed on NASDAQ. They've got to comply to all that. So you can already sense that NASDAQ is, Zinzino is a solid company in that base. We also have to be members of direct selling associations. So why? Well, simply because it's no point having a great company with great products, but you also need members who are going to contribute by talking to other people. You need to make sure there's certain rules and regulations that are covered, right? And so direct sales association, it's the number of different sales agency, direct sales agency in different countries with different rules. And so we abide by all the rules and regulations on that. One of the things that we've also noticed that's in the last year or so, there's been a huge growth, and this growth has been in an era when we've had a pandemic, when companies have been closing down, governments have been doing lockdowns. Yet Zinzino have had a double-digit sales growth, 48%. So that tells me how strong the company is, and that's what we're bringing to India. So over the last 2 years, 2.5 years, I think it's taken for us to lay the foundations. Zinzino have been looking at all the compliance issues. So one of the things that we did was Zinzino actually registered as a company, obtained the licenses we need. We actually got the products that we need, and we're going to promote in India. That's had to be registered. We've created warehouses where the stock is already there. So all the things that we need to go forward with, we've put that in place for over the last 2.5 years, including logistics. And that's the key thing, right? When you order the stuff, you want to make sure those products have arrived on time or they've arrived safely. So we've got that covered. we've also now put into place, and we go live shortly, I think it's another 2 or 3 weeks, with a payment platform. Now, Edian, many people wouldn't have heard of that company, but I promise you, when you go into some of the retailers, they already have a payment processing system that's on a global platform. That company is again registered on the stock exchange, so they're doing the right things. It's a global platform. So what Zinzino has done is given you the ability to create transactions seamlessly. All right. And as you know, if you were with us on the launch on 6th of April, a couple of weeks ago, that was an exciting time for me, and I'm sure it was for you. And so in those 2 short weeks, we've started to create a momentum. All right. And that's what's the exciting part of what we're bringing to India, and getting people excited about, we know what's happening in with the pandemic and things, but we have something that may help. And that's something that is really good. So when we think about what we want to do, we all want to feel good. We all want to stay fit and healthy. And Zinzino offers that. When we look at the technology that's come into play over the years, what we have seen is that technology has taken over how we look at our health. Yet at the same time, when things have moved forward, we're actually increasing the health problems. There's been an imbalance of technology taking us forward, yet our health has been going the other way. All right. And I guess the main thing is to ask why that's happening. So if we go back and look at the foundation of what this is, it all comes down to food. And when we look at what Hippocrates said, the father of modern medicine, as he's been called, let your food be your medicine and your medicine be food. And that simply is the truth, isn't it? I mean, in India, and being an Indian, I enjoy cooking, but the reality of the spices we have, they all have a part to play in that. If you look at it on the screen, there's haldi. Haldi is great for inflammatory things, right? I remember when I sprained my ankle as a young boy, my grandfather got hold of tons of haldi, turned it into paste and wrapped it around in a bandage, and put it over my swollen ankle. And that helped the reduction of inflammation. Yet we use that for food. So when you look at Hippocrates, what he says, he's absolutely right. Let your food be your medicine. But things have changed. And what's changed that? All right. But if we go back into time, the food that we ate was derived in a different way. The soil was different. The food that was grown was different. And simply because the food that we designed to eat and that was there for us had all the right nutrients. It gave us the right balance that our body needed. So all the micronutrients and beta glucans and all the things that your body is craving for came naturally. But over time, what's happened is things have changed because revolution in the industry, how we live, technologies has taken us forward. But in the same time, what's happened is our food has declined. So the food that we have is more processed. And so because of the processing in farming, the soil has been depleted because of the chemicals that's been used. All this has created food that we eat is just low in nutrition density. It's almost like eating, I guess, cardboard, right? Without, it looks visually good, but really it's a piece of cardboard that's going back into our system. So it's not really doing anything for our health. It's all packed in sugar to make it taste good. There's so much wrong things that's going in there, and we just consume it. We consume it because it looks good and it's easy and it's microwave foods and all these things, and that's having a massive impact, in my opinion, on our health. Now, if you look at the timing on how this has been affected, 100 years ago, I was talking about how things are and how they were farmed, and so we were getting all the right food. Our DNA at that time When you look at the references in PubMed, I'm trying to get my words on this one. It's a publication where medical journals and reports are published. They actually say that our balance should be in 1-to-1, but science says we're okay at 3-to-1. But because time has moved on and technologies has taken us forward, the reality is we're now in a state of 4-to-1 in imbalance or out balance, whichever way you want to look at it. And we're pulling away from 1-to-1 imbalance. That's not good, right? So in present times, what we've found through the amount of tests we've done, we're actually living in a body that's 25-to-1 out of balance. And in the 2.5 years we've been in India, we have, of course, been carrying out tests behind the scenes. And what we found is the data is showing that a lot of Asians, the Indian, and the food that we eat is creating an imbalance of about 35-40 to 1. I've even heard of a case that was 60-to-1 out of balance. Now, that is frightening in what's happening. Now, when you look at the food, just to harp on and clarify something, the food that we had back in history, it was full of omegas, omega-3s and the omega-9s. The quality of it was just that. Now, as time has gone on, because of the processing, the farming, all that's taking place, even the fish we eat today is farmed. So there is very little omega-3s coming through. We look at how the food we cook at home. I look at the food markets, for example, the food that's cooked in front of your eyes, but reality, the ingredients they use, the palm oil, the soybean oil, all of this is creating an abundance of omega-6. And so we're not getting the balance we need. Is it any wonder we're living in a state of ill health, and we're creating not just problems for ourselves, but future generations? In conclusion, all this is created a massive imbalance. And when you look at your own health, some of the issues, in my case, being a diabetic, which led to blood pressure issues, which led to chronic inflammation, which led to me having several strokes, led to chronic heart disease. And I'm just glad that I came across Zinzino, and I'm grateful for the help that I've had in helping me get my health in restoration. So what Zinzino offers is a way to balance our diet. So reducing the omega-6s and increasing omega-3s. And that's what we need to do. And when we look at how we do that, it's simply what it does when we look at what it brings to the table. When you look at your cells at the cellular level, the state of your body is the cells are not allowing toxins to come out, which means they're not allowing nutrients to get back into your body. To me, the best way I look at this is like an eggshell. You have a boiled egg, right? You try and get something out, it just doesn't happen. And when you got a boiled egg, when you crack it, it becomes rigid, right? And that's what's happening to the cells. So when it goes around your body, no wonder our body is not functioning well. Another example is if you love fish, you have an aquarium, take the filter away from it. See what happens to the water. Because there's no oxygen coming in, the water becomes murky. It starts going green, right? No wonder the fish become ill and die. And that's what's happening to us. That's pretty graphical, but that's the reality of it. So taking the essential oil, what it's doing is now getting into your cells. And I'll talk about how this happens later on in a couple of slides. But it allows the toxins to come back out, and then it's allowing the right nutrients to go back in. So when that's starting to go through your body and circulating and getting into all your organs, no wonder you start to recover. No wonder your health restoration starts. And it starts with taking a test, which we'll talk about in a second. So when you look at this graph, the question really is, where are you in your health? You know, are you an iceberg, for example? On the outside, you look great, but you know, internally, is your body dangerous? Is your body the Titanic that's hitting the iceberg? You know, where are you? Uh, All these high omegas and low omega 3s, is that having an effect on you? Well, the only way you can find out, quite simply, is to take a test, right? And it's a test that is done in the comfort of your home. And to date, we've done 630,000 tests globally. And what we found was that 97% of that on data were out of balance. So how do you take the test? Simply, you prick your finger. If you're a diabetic, you'll be used to this. Believe me, I do this 3 times a day. And you know, I've got used to it. So it's a simple test. Prick your finger, draw the blood out, and you see those 2 circles. Just drop 3 blood droplets on there, and then put it back into the envelope, into a biohazard envelope, and you send it to the head office in Delhi. And they, I believe, are doing 2, maybe 3, I'm not sure, but they're doing a courier service to the laboratory in Oslo. And so just take your test, send it to the head office, and they will then send the courier over to Vitesse, the laboratory. So Vitesse, let me tell you a little bit about them, because you probably think, oh, it's part of Zinzino. Well, Vitesse has been around a lot longer than Zinzino. Quite simply, we are a customer of Vitesse. And when you look at that list, you've got some leading universities from Cambridge, Harvard, King's College, all these universities that carry out various different tests and science projects. Most of them are coming to Vitesse to use their analytic systems that they have. And simply, they have the best in the world. You know, there are other laboratories around the world, but nobody can match the type of facilities Vitesse are offering. So if you look, you know, as I said, we are just one of the customers. You look at that slide, you can see people like Nestle, General Electrics. I didn't even realize General Electrics had a healthcare division. And so when you get corporations like that investing and going to somebody like Vitesse, to me, it gives confidence that I'm getting the right information and my test is done in the right way. So that's what we do. Now, once the results are ready, what you simply do is that the code that you will be given with your blood test, you go onto your online, whether it's on your phone or whether it's on a computer, you can simply enter your code and it will download your report. And you can have 2 types of reports on there. You can have a full report, which is around about 24 pages, fully detailed about what's happening in your body. So for example, it will tell you what your ratio of omega-6 and 3 is, what is the protection value, what is how is it affecting you on your mental processes. I know when I was going through my heart issues, my results was at 17.6 to 1, and I was stressed out. I was literally stressed out because not knowing what was going to happen. And the imbalance was creating a situation that to other people would say, this guy is unstable. Yes, I was unstable because I wasn't able to function properly. What I found a few months in and taking my Zinzino, when I went into the test, my balance had come back into line. And so I was able to think clearly. I was able to function a lot better coming into a major operation. So what data has shown us is that 95% of people in Europe are out of balance, 98% in Australia, 99% in USA, 97 globally. And I know with India's marks we've had so far, you're closer to 98%, right? And that's scary. Now, how do we fix this problem? Well, simply what Zinzino have done, have managed to get the best of the best in terms of scientists. Now, when I started my journey with Zinzino, when Dave spoke to me and he said, listen, there's this little test you can take, and the person leading this revolution is a guy called Dr. Paul Clayton. And I didn't need to hear any more, because having seen Dr. Paul Clayton's work with another company and what he's been doing, and so I've known him for 25 odd years, and he's been in industry, in the nutritional industry, and trying to get everything together in terms of antioxidants. He's been around for 50 odd years, so his reputation is enormous. And so it took me a millisecond to say, you know what, I'm going to take that test. We got Dr. Ola there, and again, he's a leader in bioactive foods. We got Dr. Rizzo, who she does a lot of things, but one of the things that really excites me is what she does with the research on autism with children. We got Dr. Abraham. So literally, we have the best in research and development, and then their knowledge is now creating cutting edge products that we already have, but there's more products coming through. And that for me is truly exciting, because we are creating a revolution. Oh, sorry, excuse me, my fingers have gone the wrong way. So using the products, we've seen that we're able to bring the body back into balance, and bringing it back to 2 to 1, 3 to 1. Yeah. Right. So in my case, after taking the product for 4 months, just over 4 months, I think it was, and my results came back at 4.3 to 1. And this was just before I was going in for my triple bypass. So I knew I was in a good state to be able to come out of that, right? And so I feel excited. Now, what's so unique about the formula? There's hundreds of other products out there. So why are we so unique? Well, quite simply, it's the ingredients that we have in the product. The key ingredient in this is the polyphenols. And I will talk about and show you why that works in a second. But the polyphenols actually works together with omega-3s. And when they work together, they have the ultra effect that other products can't get or give. All right. And so in terms of taking the product, what we recommend, there's a dosage, and we measure that out depending on your weight. So everyone's different. You know, my wife needs a little bit less. I need quite a big, amount, because I'm bigger than she is. And so you would measure the dosage through your weight, and you do a little calculations. Again, I talked about why we're different was simply the product that we have lasts longer in your body because of the polyphenols. It doesn't oxidize, it doesn't go rusty in your system as soon as it gets into your system like others do. And so that is the unique formula within our Ascent oil. I've got to remember it's Ascent, because the rest of the countries, we call it Balance. But our product is independently tested, and there's various analyses that we go through. And there's just one report on the Ascent oil, on the certification of what we're saying, the products we're using, the quality of the product, how it's manufactured, all that is certified. So it should give you confidence of knowing that what you're taking, it does what it says on the tin. All right. So I mentioned about the polyphenols. Well, I have lived in Spain a long time, and in the southern part of Spain. And one of the things I actually enjoyed was the olives there. And there was a town called Oliva, and that's where the best olives, in my opinion, came from. And so Zinzino have gone to southern part of the Spain to get those olives, because what they found, they're called peculiar olives. And what they found was the polyphenols, when you pick those olives before they arrive, not when they arrive, but before, actually gave you a much denser olive oil of polyphenols. And as this slide is saying, compared to other polyphenols on the market, you're getting 75 milligram more per kilogram compared to the others in the 750 milligrams more compared to other polyphenols in the market. So there's a lot more antioxidants. Do you remember I said about Dr. Paul Clayton and his research in antioxidants? And this is the result of his years of studying. So one of the things that we've also seen is that with the combination what we have, the research, independent research is that's been done, when it's taken at the right amount, according to your body ratio, that it does actually bring your balance back into body in less than 120 days. In some cases, there's been a little bit more, but you know what? In most cases, it's gone the right way. Now, what does that mean for you as a customer? Well, if you were to get this balance oil, Ascent oil, forgive me, Ascent oil with the test kit, on a retail price, it's 30,000 Indian rupees. But as if you buy as a customer of Zinzino, that's actually at 15,500 Indian rupees. And the reason why we've got a monthly order is because what we have with the test-based nutrition, you've got to take a test first, and then you've got to take a test 120 days later, right? And so that's included in the program. And by you being on a 4-month subscription of getting your Ascent oil, we can then see your journey, and we can then test it at the end of the 120 days. So what would happen is, quite simply, you would get your first test, and then 120 days later, a second test would come through to you. So you can have a look in and see what your journey's been. And then obviously what we want you to do is share that with other people. So the customer kit, for people who don't want to take the test, and I simply don't understand why they want to do that, well, we've got to be fair to them. And so if you don't want to take the test, hey, that's no problem. The retail price on that is 11,310. The premium price is 7,500 Indian rupees. So when you take the monthly order, then again, same as the other slide, it's 2,950. There's no changes in that. It is what it is in terms of the cost. So the Zinzino oil, Ascent oil, comes in several flavors. You've got orange and lemon and mint, lemon, or grapefruit, lemon, and lime. Now, for me as a diabetic, I know grapefruit, and because of some of the meds I used to take, grapefruit wasn't the one for me to take. So simply just take a little bit of guidance on what's best for you. For me, I love, my family loves the orange, lemon, and mint, and I believe that's the most popular line at the moment. So the 2,950 Indian rupees is for a 300 ml bottle, and that includes your GST as well. Now, this slide, what does it mean? Well, we're certified in many different associations, GMP certified. What that basically means that all our products, the processing, the storage, how we do the processing and stuff, it's all a GMP organization will come and do a spot check. So to make sure we adhere to what we need to do and what we're compliant in every way. We're also Friends of the Sea, so we want to make sure the fish that we use comes from sustainable sources. We're also members of Informed Choice, and again, if an athlete, a top elite athlete, were to take a natural, let's say, cold remedy, the ramifications of that being in the system when they're tested could be quite bad for them. So our products have been tested by Informed Choice, and then Halal certificate. We're also members of the Vegan Society. So we're trying to make sure everyone is looked after, because our product is for everyone, not just for the few, but everyone. And so to understand why our product is different compared to others, well, we did a scientific study, and the references on there, you can see at the bottom. The study was done by in August 2010. And what they tested was the effectiveness of different products. So you've got krill oil, you've got concentrated omega-3, cod liver oil. I remember we didn't have a naughty step when I was growing up. We had something called cod liver oil. So when I was out of order, that used to come out. So, but I've grown up using that. And one of the things I remember that you would have an aftertaste on the cod liver oil. But coming back to this point, what the slide is demonstrating to you is how long that product will last in your body. Quite simply, krill oil, which comes from, I believe, from the Scandinavian region, actually lasts only 5 hours in your body. It oxidizes within that time. Concentrated omega-3 oils, within 9 hours, they're starting to oxidize. Cod liver oil, 15 hours, and then oxidize. And I believe I've been told it takes 24 hours for nutrients to get to your cell. And so when you look at the essential oil, the balance oil, essential oil, the independent report actually said that takes 35 hours to oxidize. So it's in your body twice as much as the cod liver oil. That's one of the reasons why we are having the success that we are, because we can now prove it through and validate this through the test program. So there's been an independent test done about all the oils, and it's done by a society called Cochrane. And in that test, they were around about 80 different trials. 112,000 people took a test in there, and it was aimed at people who were taking supplements. And quite simply, what the report says, that omega oils don't have the type of effect that you want it to have. So some of the claims you have about the nutritions and things, we have to look at that carefully. We have to look at how it's actually working. And then when you have independent studies coming out and saying, do you know what? It's not as effective as it should be. It makes you wonder. And I'm quite simply thrilled that I'm involved with Zinzino now. And here's another slide. When you look at the two graphs on there, you got data from people who took omega-3, and then you got data from people, you have got a slide where people didn't take omega-3 and a slide where people took omega-3s. And the average ratio per age groups, now the average is 14.8 to 1 for people who didn't take omega-3s, right? The average for people who took omega-3s is 9.9 to 1. You might think that's good. Balance oil, on the other hand, had a ratio, average ratio of 2.8 to 1. So when you look at statistics, you look at data, independent testing, we quite simply far ahead compared to anybody else in the marketplace. And so, excuse me. So when you look how we live in and what the products are doing, it's taking people from an inflammatory position to anti-inflammatory over a short period of time. And that's what balance oil does. And that's nothing more than what that slide is saying. So in my case, my results were down to 4.3 to 1. Overall, 95% of the people that have taken the product were in balance of 3 to 1 within 120 days. And so who's it for? Dr. Pratiksha Gandhi is on call tonight, I believe. And her phrase is, this product is for everyone from womb to tomb. Well, that's absolutely true. But I also believe that people who are looking towards starting a family, they should have their tested before they start thinking about having a family. They need to be in balance, because when the mother is carrying that child, right, she needs to make sure she's giving the right nutrients to the baby. But not only that, she's got to recover from what she's losing and giving to the baby, right? So it is, in my opinion, you should be starting this before, right? And it is for all ages. It's up to, as Dr. Pratiksha says, up to from womb to tomb, and it's for people of all ages. The older you get, the more help you're going to need, and so it just makes sense that we have a product that helps them through that stage. So there are a number of claims we can make through the commission regulations, and there are 18 claims here talking about normal brain function. I know in my case, I was in a state of cloudiness in my thinking a lot of times. Obviously, I've mentioned about my heart function. Now I'm in a different zone. My immune system is a lot better. I actually 4 weeks from recovery of my bypass, I ended up with COVID, which was long COVID. And I truly believe that if it wasn't for that and me being in balance of 4.3 to 1, I probably wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have been able to cope with, my body wouldn't have been able to cope with not having that right immune system. There's claims on there about normal blood pressure, normal cell division, protecting yourselves against oxidative stress. So all these things are now starting to, I'm benefiting. And these are the claims that we can officially make. So what I'm going to do now is hand you over to my wonderful friend Mukesh, and he's going to talk you through the business potential of Zinzino. I hope my information I've shared with you has been useful. If you do have any questions, please reach out to me or the person who's brought you to the event tonight. And it's all about sharing information, and I hope that the information has been useful for you. So thank you for that, and I'm going to hand you back to Hitel.
Thanks very much, Jay. If you could just stop.
Oh, Mukesh, sorry.
No worries.
Let me just come out of my slide and stop sharing.
Wonderful. Okay. So what I'm going to do is thanks very much, Jay. What you heard so far is what the science is, how different this product is from anything else that's in the market, and the change is the test. Lots of people using products in the market, do they know they work or not? They don't. Oh, I feel better. It's doing me good. My friend said so. But it's the test that makes the difference. So if you thought that you would like to improve your health and you want to be a customer of Zinzino, then get back to the person who invited you to this and tell them, how do I start on my health journey and get going? But hopefully you heard that there is something different going on here. We've brought something quite unique to India. So if you think that there's a business potential here, there is something going on, then let me take you through the next few minutes to show you what that business is about and how you might get involved in a team with us in Zinzino. So we're not just bringing a global mega trend to India. It's a trend which has been established for quite a while. It's the story behind omegas has been known for 20 odd years. But what we are bringing is a revolutionary technology and riding that trend. So already there's 500 million people globally taking omega-3 products. It's one of the largest supplements that is sold, including in India, but only 0.2%, which is less than a million people, have taken the test to discover whether the omega they're taking is working and what their 6-to-3 ratio is. Okay, so if you look at here, if only a million people are tested and we're at the beginning of the curve, then what you get is an opportunity to ride that wave over the next 10, 20, 30 years as millions of more tests are done We expect by 2050 for 1 billion tests to be done. So just looking at the test, there's an enormous market. And if you look at the omegas that are being taken, currently 97% of the people, even the people who are taking omega products currently, fail the test. So the market for our product to actually affect those people is enormous because everybody you come into contact with, except the 3%, are going to need the product. We have currently a turnover globally of 40 billion in the omega market, and we expect over the next 30 years that to go to 200 billion US dollars. That is a huge increase. So the question you should ask yourself is, if there is this trend going on, there's this global expansion going on, this company, Zinzino, is bringing a unique test which the other companies are not doing. They're bringing a product which can be tested and it works, whereas the others are saying, oh, just believe me, it works. Then you have an amazing opportunity that you should look at. So if you think that this is something you want to get started with in team with us, how do you start your business? So I'm now going to take you through some simple steps of how you get involved. The first thing, like any business, is you register. It's actually an e-commerce business. So everybody buys off your website. Anybody know how Amazon works? They buy off a website and the product is shipped directly from the warehouse to the end user. The same thing happens here. You get your own e-commerce business and you can actually start your business at minimal cost. So registration is free. We then start with three different uh, kits. You have an option to start with a mini essence oil kit, which is only 8,500 rupees. It gives you one test and one bottle of oil for your own use. After that, you'll be taking your essence oil every month, and then after 4 months, you need to have a second test. So you'll have to purchase a second test. But if you want to start a business, you can start it as low as 8,500. This one is a better kit to start with, which is 21,000 rupees. You get two tests. You can do your beginning test and after 4 month test, and you have three bottles of oil, which you can use and people in your family can use. The third kit is my preferred kit, and the one which I started on is at 88,500, and it includes 14 tests and 14 bottles of oil. That's like, if you remember Jay's presentation, that you get two bottles of oil and two tests. That's like having seven kits. It's like you can test seven people, first test, second test, and start with the first 2 months, and then they can subscribe month after month. So if you are serious in a business, starting with 18,500, where you can test seven people and start the business, when you test seven people and you charge them the 14,500 to start with, that's going to give you over 1 lakh rupees if you just sold those seven kits. Therefore, you got your money back. But the unique thing about this particular kit is that if you come in with 88,500 and you started people using the product and you got 25 people tested and using the product every month, after 12 months, you take up to 12 months, not 1 month, up to 12 months to get 25 subscriptions started. The company Zinzino at the end of 12 months will refund 88,500 to you, even though you made the profit. So you got your money back, you sold the things, you got 25 people on the subscription, and the company refunds because the company, Zinzino, does not want you to spend money on starting a business. What they want is your commitment to partner with us and just advance the 88,500, get 25 people on a subscription, and then they refund your money. That's it. If you are keen on starting this month in April, we just launched on the 6th of April. If you're keen on starting this month, there's a special offer, and we still have a few days until the end of April. What Zinzino has said is they will not only refund 88,500 after 12 months, but as soon as you've got 25 people using Zinzino Essent Oil, they will send you completely free another kit with 14 tests and 14 bottles of oil. So in effect, for just 88,500, you not only get your money back because you've got customers, but you're going to get 88,500 refunded and another 14 tests and 14 things to sell for another 1 lakh rupees. So effectively, you can make 2 lakhs with starting off with just spending 88,500 rupees. So, like any business, there is an ongoing cost. You get your own website, you get an amazing back office, you get all the apps for your phones, you get marketing materials, and your own monthly balanced oil to use, which is 2,950, all for 5,200 a month. But they've got a system. As I said, they don't want your money. There's a way you don't need to pay that. And the way you do that is just sign up for customers for taking your oil every month, and Zinzino will send you your own bottle of balance oil and your website and your back office and everything totally free. You just pay for the shipping. And that's as simple as that. So you started with an ultimate kit, you got your money back, you got an additional ultimate kit free, you don't have to pay for your monthly costs. What we need to do is just join and work part time alongside whatever else you're doing, not giving up what you're doing. Maybe 10 hours a week. If you want 15 hours a week, you decide how many hours in a team with us, working from home or anywhere you like. All you need is a laptop and a phone. Choose the people you want to work with. You don't have to, like an office, work with people you don't like. You just choose your friends, relatives, people you admire, work with them. So you're having fun whilst you're working. And let me now take you through the first simple steps. I said to you, you want to get 25 subscriptions over 12 months, but let me take you through the first 30 and 60 days, how Zinzino has put together a program to give you extra bonuses in the first 2 months so that you get money in your pocket right away. So, what did I say? You put those 4 first customers on, that gives you a cash 10% bonus. It makes you smart bronze and gives you a bonus, additional bonus of 9,000 rupees. So your estimated total in the first 30 days, just from putting 4 customers on, is about 18,000 rupees. You also get a mentor bonus, which is between 5 and 10%. And ask the person who invited you here what that means, because in the long run, that can be very, very significant because it gives you 5 to 10% on the turnover on the sales of everybody you bring in. So the next thing you do in the first 30 days is just like you're introduced, you introduce 4 other people. And it's not just you, your team helps you in that process as well. So between you and your team, the people who brought you in, you introduce A, B, C, and D, and these are people just like you. So we work with them to take them through their fast start. We help them get their 4 customers. We help them get their 4 partners. So when you do that and you turn over 375 credits in that 30 days, which is not a lot, your fast silver bonus is 13,500. Again, in this month, you've still got chance, a few days left. Zinzino has said, as they're coming into India, this fast start bonus will be doubled to 27,000 rupees. The third one is you've got 4 customers, just add 6 more customers, and you've got 10 customers coming, buying the product every month automatically from Zinzino. You're not involved in that. They just buy off your website, and that gives you another 13,500. So what you've got in those 3 simple steps is between 50 to 60,000 rupees earned in the first 2 months. So if you came in with 88,500 Ultimate Kit, you've nearly got all your money back in the first 60 days, and then we carry on in month 3, 4, 5, just adding more customers and bringing more partners and helping the partners you bring in do exactly the same, go to the fast start 60 days. So if you did that, let's just imagine what we're doing. We're just adding customers. So I'll tell you about how that income comes. And then we're going to talk about how you help those people you brought in to do the same as you. So what are the incomes? In the customer journey, there's a cash bonus, as I said, 10%. That becomes 20% when you've got 25 customers. When it becomes 50 customers, then it becomes 25% for shipping the same bottle of oil. And when you get to 100 personal customers, your commission on that is 30% for every bottle which is moved. On top of that, when you've got 100 customers as subscription, you get a one-time bonus of 8 lakh rupees. 8 lakh. 8 lakh. So that is paid over 24 months. So on top of your regular income, you are going to get 33,000 rupees a month as a bonus. When you get to 200 customers, you not only get additional monies where you're making like 10 lakh rupees, you also get a 1 week 5-star trip to a resort somewhere in the world. Every year it's at a different resort. So the potential just from gathering customers is enormous. But the next thing you can do is help the people you brought in to do exactly the same, A, B, C, and D. If you ask them, right, let me help you get your 10 customers and get some partners in for you, you will help them go to silver just like you did. Okay? So let me show you what that is. So you came in, you got 10 customer subscriptions, you got 4 partners, and you started getting all these incomes coming in. Those 4 people you brought in, if you help them do the same and take them to that 10 subscriptions and 4 partners, and you turn them into silver, doing 4 people to silver makes you executive. And that gives you an average income of about 45,000 rupees a month. When you go further and you help those 4 people who you took to silver do the same, you become a diamond. What you get is 4 people you help to take to executive makes you diamond. At that point, you get a car bonus, you get a phone bonus, which is worth about uh, 1,000, 15, 1.5 lakh rupees a month. Plus, you get 2.7 lakh rupees income. Your estimated income is that. Now, at this point, you might say, working part time, you might want to increase your hours in Zinzino because you want to take it to the next level. Because if you took 4 people who were executive to diamond just like you did, you are now called a crown. And your average income is nearly 11 lakh rupees per month, 11 lakh rupees a month. That is quite serious income uh, for any business. Okay, so just going to show you the career ladder. What I showed you was going from silver to crown, which is not even halfway up the marketing plan. When you get to the top levels, you're going to make up to 1 crore, 2 crore a month. So what I'd like to say to you is the potential here for people who want to work in a team with us, work hard, is enormous. Any business is all about timing. Is the timing right? Yes, it's perfect actually. We've done up to date 4 lakh tests. We've got uh, about 4 lakh customers. We expect to get 1 million 10 lakh customers by 2025. We are planning on 20 million by 2035, and Zinzino wants to hit 100 million customers at 2050. I think with India opening up, this 1 million customers may happen next year because India is enormous. Everybody is talking about health. Everybody wants to improve their health. We have a unique test and a unique product which we have just introduced into India. So the timing is perfect. So if you'd like to look at this and say, right, can I join in and ride this wave, this upward trend? I want to find out more. So there are three things you can do. One is, I'd like to have more information. Get back to the person who invited you to this presentation and ask them, can you answer my questions? As soon as my questions are answered, I'm in. Secondly, you say, well, I'm not ready. I'd like to be a customer and just start my health campaign, improve my health and the health of my family. The third one is that you see the potential, you see that this mega trend, you see that just the Indian market, and you can work globally in an e-commerce business with all the technology there, and you want to become a partner, then I would urge you to go back to the person who invited you and say, I'm ready to be a partner. Can I participate in this double refund for the ultimate kit? And can I get started and get my 4 customers quickly and get my products and my website and everything for free? And can I start my Zinzino journey, earning and climbing up that ladder very, very quickly? So just get back to the person who invited you. And if you're ready, welcome to Zinzino. Right, Ethel, back to you.
Yeah, all right, Mukesh, thank you so much. Jay and Mukesh, that was a wonderful presentation. So we are done with the the English presentation for tonight. Mukesh, if you can stop sharing your slides as
Yeah.
well, that'll be good.